the defensive coordinator of Georgia Tech, he dials up pressure, and he brings the safety from the line of scrimmage. Sylvester and Reese combined for a huge sack. 3rd and long for Iowa. You know what we haven't seen from them tonight? Screen game at all.
3rd and 17 at the 49 of Tech. Stanzi steps up, and nobody downfield. McNutt was the closest, but this ball was thrown about 12 yards beyond him. And that will bring up 4th down. So Iowa running the ball smartly, and all of a sudden the drive stalls, and the Hawkeyes will have to punt, and Tarrant goes back to return it here.
Great pressure by number 96, Logan Walls, and number 92, Jason Peters, from the defensive front of Georgia Tech, playing inspired football here in the second half, both sides of the ball.
9:01 left in regulation. Gerard Tarrant back deep. Good punt, starts from the 3 and falls down.
Why didn't he let that hit and go into the end zone and start on the 20? He caught the ball inside his own 5-yard line.
Georgia Tech has a long way to go in the battle with Iowa in the 76th FedEx Orange Bowl. We'll be back after this. So there's Georgia Tech. 7 drives for 20 plays, 2 for 35 plays. They've gained 130 yards in the second half, starting from the 10. And here's Nesbitt, and the pass is intercepted by A.J. Eads. And the first turnover of the game by Georgia Tech. Critical one, starting from their 10, and Eads picks it off and goes 13.
Dick, this is the second time tonight that I've seen A.J. Eads perfectly play a pass pattern. One, he forced him to throw it away. The second time he was able to go ahead and get into the passing lane and then take it away. What happened was Josh Nesbitt wanted Jonathan Dwyer in the flat. Remember that pass they completed on the last possession? That wasn't there. So he tries to push the ball downfield. Eads undercuts it on Embry Peoples. And the interception and turnover puts Iowa in business.
Eads had 4 interceptions, senior from Greenwood, Indiana. And now a first down on the 15 for Iowa. And here is Robinson, Adam Robinson. And Robinson picking up maybe a yard, no gain. So the 2 turnovers earlier by Iowa, but this one really critical for Georgia Tech. And the first interception, 1 for 4 for 11 yards for Nesbitt. No factor as a passer tonight.
But the problem is they haven't had a big play in the passing game. Josh Nesbitt can be 2 for 10 throwing the ball, but if it's 110 yards on 2 55-yard plays, that's what they're looking for. They're not getting the chunk plays in the passing game tonight.
Second down and 10. Pressure on Stanzi, and the pass intended for McNutt incomplete, and a flag is down.
He's going to get bailed out, Dick. He's going to get bailed out. Because I think Ricky Stanzi got hit upside the head late.
Derek Morgan put the pressure on, so did Peters.
So if you can read lips, it was roughing the passer against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and I thought he said 51, Brad Jefferson. It's on Brad Jefferson, roughing the passer.
Take a look, because Jefferson is going to come up the middle. There's Sylvester, and then Jefferson late, and then he hits him, and the big problem was he hit him up high. That was almost helmet to helmet. And that's where the call came. That's the roughing the passer.
And it'll be a 1st and goal at the 7 for Iowa.
Critical for Georgia Tech to try and keep them at the end zone and force it into a field goal and only be down 6 at this juncture.
Stanzi into the end zone. McNutt cannot come down with a foot inbounds, and the pass is incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and goal. They went right to the corner of that end zone.
And Marvin McNutt tries to come down with 1 foot. Doesn't get it. And I wondered at the end of the route, did he push off? Did he get away with 1? I don't think that's enough to call there. Not at all. Good job by the official right on the spot.
I agree.
I believe that might have been Mike Washington, the field judge, back there taking a good look at it and making sure that it was not interference. He was all over the call.
2nd and goal from the 7. Here's Robinson. Robinson inside the 5, gets to the 3, where Sylvester makes the tackle. And it's very important for Georgia Tech, obviously, to try to hold Iowa to a field goal and keep it a 1-possession game with 7.5 to go in the 4th.
I'm interested in what Kirk Ferentz is thinking right now with Ken O'Keefe, his offensive coordinator. I wonder if he told him he's got 2 plays here, or if he told him you've got to get it now, otherwise we're kicking the field goal. In any event, I don't think this is a run play for Iowa. This is a pass play with Ricky Stanzi trying to use his mobility to get the ball into the end zone.
And Terry Strauss with McNutt and Sandeman, 3 wide receivers. And let's not forget Moeaki. 3rd down and goal. Stanzi looking for a receiver. Flips it, and the receiver fell down. Adam Robinson, the running back, slipped, was open in the end zone, and he falls down. And so the pass incomplete, and the field goal team comes on for Iowa.
And how fortunate is Georgia Tech, because Adam Robinson slips past the coverage by Dominique Reese. If he's able to keep his feet, I think they're going to have a touchdown here. They gave Ricky Stanzi the opportunity to use his legs or his arm, and it appeared he was going to be in great shape. But when the Robinson fell down, that forced the field goal attempt.
Daniel Murray, who earlier kicked a 33-yard field goal, will attempt this from 21 to try to give Iowa a 6-point lead. And it's a fake. And the ball is knocked loose out of bounds. And they're going to mark it at the 12-yard line. And it was Daniel Murray. And the fake doesn't work, and it remains a 3-point game. Murray trying to run it. And it was Morgan Burnett who knocked it away. And we'll be right back. And it's time for the All-State Good Hands, questionable, play of the game. And it was this fake. And here's Daniel Murray on the fake field goal. Loses the ball out of bounds, and it remains a 3-point game. What about that call, Charles?
Well, the hands were fine. It was the legs that were in question. I understand why he faked it. Kirk Ferentz doesn't think a 6-point lead is going to be enough against Georgia Tech. My question is, using Daniel Murray as your primary ball carrier on that fake.
And the pitch going out to Jonathan Dwyer, giving ground, and he's tackled at the 1, got out of trouble at the end zone. Looked like it might be a safety, but Broderick Binns gets him. It'll be a loss of 11, but it came very close to giving Iowa 2 more points in the game, and it was Tyler Sash.
Boy, he did a tremendous job of not getting a safety, because look at this. Adrian Claiborne has him. He spins him around. And Tyler Sash and Pat Angerer have great shots at him in the end zone. Broderick Binns helps bring him down, but he did just enough to get out of the end zone.
Imagine Sash and Anger missing tackles like that.
You don't see that every day.
2nd down and 21 from the 1. And here is the keeper by Nesbitt. And Nesbitt brings it out to the 4-yard line.
Last couple of plays, the defensive line of Iowa showing the dominance they exhibited for most of the game prior to the start of the second half. The first 2 drives of the second half, Georgia Tech moved the ball well against them. Now, 3rd and long, and of course throwing the football, not Georgia Tech's strength, and now they're backed up in the shadow of their goal line.
Well, Georgia Tech was there just moments ago. Eads intercepted. They try to fake field goal. Still a 3-point game, but it's 3rd down and 18. From the 4-yard line, in the end zone is Nesbitt. Nesbitt fires, and it's off the hands of Embry-Peoples, incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down.
We just saw Adam Robinson for Iowa slip in the end zone on a potential touchdown. This was a potential 1st down to Embry-Peoples. Ends up slipping because he's trying to stop his route and catch the football. If he doesn't slip, that's probably a pass completion, and Georgia Tech stays alive on the drive.
And Charles, it'll be very interesting here Very tenuous punting situation with Chandler Anderson. Keep in mind the long snapper is a freshman walk-on, Tyler Morgan.
But I don't rush it if I'm Iowa. I don't want any type of a penalty. I just want the football.
And a good snap. And it should be good field position as Sandeman will let it bounce.
Pick it up.
Georgia Tech will down it. And I have to say, the Yellow Jackets have to be delighted where that ball is, considering where they punted from. 59-yard punt. The near safety. And he got out to the 1. Well, these great overhead shots are brought to you by the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Little under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and Iowa leading Georgia Tech 17-14. Now it's time for the FedEx Air and Ground players of the game. Through the air, Ricky Stanzi with 2 touchdowns and 222 yards passing. First down for Iowa on the 37. Brandon Wager and gets a couple of yards. And now the FedEx ground player of the game, the Anthony Allen of Georgia Tech, who's accounted for the Georgia Tech touchdown. 17-14 the score. Georgia Tech has missed a field goal, and Iowa tried to fake a field goal, and Paul Johnson's team, and both of these teams have been successful in close games and come from behind wins this year.
And right now, if you're Georgia Tech, you've got to think about doing a little bit more on the defensive side, selling out a little bit against the run game, because you have to have the football back. You can't let Iowa put this thing away running it.
They'll go to Wager, then Wager will pick up a couple of yards, and that'll bring up third down. 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Iowa led 14-0. Georgia Tech with an interception and a return for a touchdown. It was 17-7 at one point before Allen's touchdown run in the fourth early on.
Georgia Tech, all their timeouts remaining, trying to save them if they can get a stop here on defense. And if you're Iowa, I think it's too soon to just simply tuck your horns in and just say we're going to punt the ball away and play defense.
Third down and 8. Stanzi completes to Terry Strauss, and a first down. Trey Strauss, who started every game but did not start this one, with a 10-yard pickup. He's got the size at 6'4", from Avon Lake, Ohio, and a senior. And he leaves the game, and a big contribution for Iowa.
And the irony for Trey Strauss not starting tonight, throughout his career, he's been beset by injuries. Couldn't play a full season. This year, he starts all 12 games, gets to the biggest game of his career, and an injury sidelines him at the start of that one. He comes up with a huge catch there to keep their drive going and keep the clock ticking in their favor.
And Kirk Ferentz's offensive line keeping Derek Morgan out as Wager on the carry. And Wager stopped by Brad Jefferson after no gain on the play, and a timeout called by Georgia Tech, their first. We'll be right back. Georgia. And we're back here at Landshark Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, the 76 FedEx Orange Bowl, and it's a thriller going down to the wire. 2 minutes 43 seconds to go in regulation. Georgia Tech just called their first timeout, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for Iowa at their own 48.
And what a huge catch by Trey Strauss. Big drop in the Ohio State game. Was crushed, apologized to people by Facebook. That catch could atone for it.
Hand off to Wager. Wager, first down. And finally wrestled down by Morgan Burnett. And another big block by the fullback, Brett Morse. He's done that a few times, and a 23-yard gain by Wager.
Watch the blocking here. There's Moeaki, Reisner, number 82. So Callaway, 60. And then watch Wager. He goes down to stay in bounds. Now the clock's going to stop because it was a first down, but it won't stop as long. As soon as they set the chains, they can wind the clock again.
Freshman running back who started 2 games late in the year. And it'll be a first down at the 29 of Georgia Tech.
Everyone up on the offensive line for Tech.
Wager. And this time, he won't get away from Mario Butler. And a loss of 3 as we now have the clock stopped at 2:03 remaining in a timeout called by Georgia Tech. They have 1 left when we return. Iowa leading Georgia Tech by 3. 2:03 to go, and the Yellow Jackets down to their last timeout.
And look at this about how many guys are in the box for Georgia Tech. Iowa works on blocking against 8- and 9-man fronts because they are determined to run the football. If they're able to gash this type of an alignment, the running back can go a long way.
Andy Kemple, number 68, is an extra defensive lineman, or offensive lineman in there for Iowa. Second down and 13. And they give it to Wager, and Wager with 4 Georgia Tech players chasing gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Brandon Wager gets congratulations from his teammates and coach Kirk Ferentz. And Ricky Stanzi, the junior quarterback, coming back since injuring his ankle in November. And now the extra point by Daniel Murray. And the kick is perfect. And Iowa now leads Georgia Tech 24-14. 1:56 left. And Wager has gained 113 yards on 16 carries and perhaps the clinching touchdown.
Remember, we talk about Iowa works on this. They don't mind seeing all of this up front because if they can get the blocks they want, guess what will happen? There he goes. Watch. And look at Callaway fold around 60. Reisner 82. And there goes Wager. Morse 36, the fullback, gets the kick out block on Butler 2. And off goes Wager with perhaps the clinching touchdown of the FedEx Orange Bowl.
And for Wager, who's just a freshman, it's the longest run of his college career, 32 yards. And you can see here in the Derek Morgan disconsolate here as he can feel it slipping away. Everyone talking about Paul Johnson and that spread offense that was going to be very tough for Iowa to adjust to, but keep in mind that in 3 of the last 4 teams to beat Georgia Tech, they had at least a week to prepare, and that's what Iowa had.
And Iowa had 30-plus days to prepare for this one. And sometimes you worry about simulating the speed of what Georgia Tech does. Sometimes just getting the repetition, seeing how the option goes, the mesh points between quarterback and dive back, getting to the corner. They saw that over and over for 30-plus days and defended it quite well this evening.
And the kick, Orwin Smith returning for Georgia Tech, and he is put down at the 30.
Look at Iowa. What did we say? The last time they won a BCS-type bowl game, a big bowl game, 1959 against Cal?
Yep, the Rose Bowl, been a long drought. Hayden Fry didn't win one in his 20 years, and this first pass intended for Roddy Jones incomplete. And it's interesting that Demarius Thomas, who had 29 games with a catch, none today, and he's been only thrown at 1 time.
They count on him to give the big plays, but the reason they're able to get him in the big plays is because the option offense is working well. And that means you've got more guys crowding the line of scrimmage, more guys diving towards the run game. So even if you're playing zone, Demarius Thomas ends up with man-to-man coverage. That hasn't happened much tonight.
Second down and 10. Nesbitt. And a middle screen to Jonathan Dwyer. And he is dropped picking up 1 yard. Jeremiah Hunter making the stop. So a huge triumph for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and Kirk Ferentz, Big Ten Coach of the Year. And of course, a lot of coaches have a lot of ambition. Ferentz is happy to be at Iowa City and extended his term there, as Nesbitt's throw is incomplete, and he was trying to get it to Stephen Hill, and he was double covered downfield.
I'm watching this defensive alignment for Iowa, and you know what really strikes me? Is in this situation, most teams in the country would be in a nickel or a dime alignment. All right, bring in extra defensive backs. Iowa still has all 3 linebackers on the field. That's not unusual for them. That's what Norm Parker believes. He likes to keep his linebackers on the field, his best players, and allow them to be the cover guys. And we've seen them do it quite well tonight. Jeremiah Hunter with a big tackle on the screen. A.J. Eads with an interception earlier.
4th down and 9. On the 32 of Georgia Tech. And the pass incomplete to Demarius Thomas. And that's an exclamation point right there. And Iowa will take over knowing they're going to win this game. And as Kirk Ferentz says, it's a BCS game. Nobody wants to do anything but wind up the season with a victory in a bowl game.
And this team really approached this game differently from the last time they were here in the Orange Bowl, Dick. That team came to the Orange Bowl separately. You know, you're allowed a certain amount of money if you travel from home. This team got together and voted and said, we're all flying together from Iowa City as a team. We don't care about the money. We don't care about the extra gifts. Let's go as a team. Let's prepare the right way, and let's win this BCS bowl game. And they've accomplished that here tonight.
They lost to SC 38-17 in that 2003 game. And for Ricky Stanzi coming back, a lot of questions as to how he would perform after a long delay getting back, suffering an ankle injury requiring surgery, but those 2 early touchdown passes set the tone for the Hawkeyes.
Came out so sharp, you would have not thought that Ricky Stanzi had missed any time.
Here's the Gatorade bath.
See, that's just wrong. I got to tell you something. That's just wrong, all right? It's 40 degrees. To do that to your coach, why don't you just carry him off the field like the good old days instead of throwing Gatorade on him? I'm just going to tell you, Dick, if I'm a coach, that's my first order. If anyone hits me with Gatorade, you're not eating on your scholarship for a month.
Charles, I don't think he cares, to tell you the truth, cold as it is. So here's Georgia Tech, 307 rushing yards for Paul Johnson's team, held to 140 yards in this one. The final score here in the 76th FedEx Orange Bowl, Iowa 24 and Georgia Tech 14. Hawkeyes 11-2. Georgia Tech finishes 11-3. All right, Chris, thank you very much. The Iowa Hawkeyes winning 24-14 over Georgia Tech. And the FedEx Orange Bowl champion Hawkeyes are on the stage. And for the trophy presentation, here's Chris Myers.
Thanks very much, Dick Stockton, with Kirk Ferentz, the head coach at Iowa, and the Iowa Hawkeyes bringing some Iowa weather to South Florida for the 76th Orange Bowl. A dramatic finish, an exciting 4th quarter, and for some of the trophy presentation, we welcome Phyllis Oeters, the Orange Bowl Committee President and Chairperson.
Thank you. First of all, we would like to congratulate the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets for a very good season and a great effort. And we would also like to congratulate in a very big way Coach Ferentz and the Iowa team, along with its president, Sally Mason, here tonight, and its athletic director, Gary Bartow. Thank you so much. Congratulations for a great game.
All right, and Coach, with your players behind you and a lot of Iowa fans and the Oranges, those will be creamsicles by the time this evening is over, as cool as it is. But your team cool under pressure in an exciting 4th quarter. What was the difference in this game?
Well, you know, this is, first of all, it's Hawkeye weather. We feel right at home right now.
All right.
I like that. Yeah, the credit goes to our players. They've been doing it all season long. We haven't had many routine wins, easy wins, and these guys have just fought hard the entire game each and every week. So they did it again tonight, and we're just awfully proud of them.
First BCS Bowl win for Iowa. For you personally, biggest win in your coaching career at Iowa?
I don't know if it's the biggest one, but this is a great night. We had a tough night here about 8 years ago, and we certainly handled the month better this year, and certainly played a much better game. So we're just thrilled and couldn't be more proud of our players and our staff.
And before we let you go, Coach, just a comment on Ricky Stanzi and the offense, how well he did tonight. We'll talk about defense in a moment.
It was great having Rick back. It was tough when he got injured. Certainly our players have tremendous confidence in him, not just our offensive players, our entire team, our coaching staff. He did a great job leading us tonight. And what can I say about that defense?
All right, congratulations again, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
We appreciate that. To help us present the Most Valuable Player Award, the Executive Vice President of Global Sales and Services for FedEx. And yes, they understand and they have a plan, and Don Colleran does. Don?
Thanks, Chris. On behalf of FedEx and our over 280,000 team members in over 220 countries around the globe, congratulations to the Iowa Hawkeyes for a beautifully executed game today. And congratulations to our game MVP, Adrian Claiborne, who was just an absolute monster today. Great job.
All right, Adrian, all the oranges you can enjoy. Just talk about facing an offense like Georgia Tech. You prepared, you delivered. How'd you do it?
I'm just going to say good thing we had a month to prepare because it was difficult. I want to give all the props to the coaches and the fans for helping us get this victory.
You were a force out there, whether it was sacking the quarterback or tackling runners. How were you able to keep your energy up?
Just striving to get this victory. I mean, without us playing hard, we wouldn't have got this victory.
And a great Iowa fan support here for you. You already said you were coming back after your junior year. You're not going to change your mind, are you?
I'm not changing my mind. I'm here for the long haul.
All right. And it puts Iowa in great position. Next time the preseason polls come out, you'll be back hopefully for a good championship run.
Hopefully we can get it done for the Iowa fans.
All right, congratulations to Ricky Stanzi. We just want to wish you well. Good luck, terrific performance coming off the knee injury. We know after the great start, gutsy performance out there. Just talk about the fast start for this team and able to hold on.
Something that we wanted to do coming into this game. It's the same thing every game, and our defense did a tremendous job. And, as an offense, we were able to execute, and it was just a great feeling to get a good start and get some points on the board.
I know you're from Middle America. You feel like sometimes you're representing more than just a school or a conference, maybe an entire group of American citizens out there?
Well, of course. I mean, there's nothing better than being American. So, I mean, this is the greatest feeling. If you don't love it, leave it. USA, #1.
And great football in the Midwest. Congratulations.